The mother laughed and asked, "Maybe you're not jealous." She avoided her eyes and replied, "No, I trust the school." She took her hand and said softly, "Don't worry, go with the CA school now. It's very possible you'll only know the girl. And you're all the ones I raised." Previously, the CA school. Hearing this, Min was not surprised. She silently calculated drill now. Maybe, mother knows the cause of the CA school's personality. Changed SAO. The grieving mother continued, "It's been such a long time for you." Min did not gently console. "Model this. Not the school. I've been warning him before." He also misunderstood his good intentions. Suddenly, the mother's eyes widened. He glanced at those who were drinking. Then the mother kept her voice low. "Min no longer knows all about SAO, something related to ghosts." Min did not interrupt, but replied, "My mother, Min, doesn't make schools waste their energy. I understand the heart of the school now." He hugged her excitedly and shouted without a tiger, "She is my good daughter-in-law. I feel so comforted." She was happy to let her hug her, and shyly replied, "Miss Min is no longer unmarried, but she aesthetics. So half a year before we're born again. What happened? Why the school CA suddenly down to the world? It's really about finding the magic." I didn't look at her, but asked her curiously, "I heard that the CA school has been on the ground ever since they brought back 2 girls. One of them is Elmvu HN. He's now in the death throes of the Danish ethnic group. There is also one person who is a CA. Was brought to his side to practice." The mother replied that there was this. "Why don't you ask any more? Do you know what is special about these 2 girls? She also made it clear to you. I don't know about Han. But as far as I'm concerned, I only know that she was taken to Dantong by the CA school." "What about the CA bar? It's a rare twin with a precursor. It must be some magical arm." She recounted, "Although we've tried to use the secret to query the background, but its soul is small. You really can't see it. If you can't hear it, think about it. Looks exactly like my investigation." She never cared about the CA school. Fortunately, it has lost its value. Threw it to the side. She looked at the CA school in the distance and thought, "Your previous life, CA didn't bring AI to the world. See, in this life, he is in the world. There must have been something. It made him change this time. Just in time we were born. Maybe that we actually caused that chain reaction, SAO. Outside, I'm standing in front of the school and talking. Try this time the magic is in the dark. To do tyrannical things. I don't know if you have a way." Africa also added, "Try to be the only one anyway. He used to fight with his successor. There must be a way. It's not like us." CA school gave hand clenched chin pale answer, not hide. "You, this is something we've always suspected. That day, I fought with the devil. Even though he was hurt badly by me, but finally put on a fearless face. It seems that someone helped. You continue to make it clear. I'm not lightly injured, I can't chase. Just watching him escape. You can't find it in another corner." The angry fairy sang out a breath. "The clothes are both expensive and seasonal. Fortunately, the school of the CA. A bald man wearing large beads around his neck. I was surprised to hear it out loud. Ask your supporter why you are the successor of magic. It's not just the lily." CA school frowned in response to personal speculation. Surely the successor to magic is not just an individual. Maybe there's a power behind it. It's calculated. We should think about it soon. The successor to the magic. Who does not disturb the gods? The soul of misery. Why is the person who appears again a spy? The African also exclaimed, "You have to do this." The glass also sighed sadly. In countless heavens, people are gathered together to talk. Recently, there are no beautiful fairies in the sky. A girl came up to him and said, probably because of the time before, "The Sea King has many evil things. The new fairies? Dare to come." The police officer covered his face and walked past them. The young man Kier is still depressed, uttered so tasteless. The two basses stopped. She looked ahead and whispered, "See a schoolgirl with magic heiress." The mayor raised his head and looked up. Bright circles on the two walls. Put it back into a Kier that's aesthetically pleasing according to rumors. The successor to the magic at that time and the late CA. Crossbowers and ancient fairies 6. In the end, the enemy could not escape. But before now, the successor to the magic duel. Never lose tricks and play countless games. You think deeply. The head of CA is inhuman. There is a name for fairies. But say, he can kill the magic heir himself. It's a little inappropriate. In addition, white paralysis is the victim of good character. And his fiancée, don't me. You can stand next to the lily. And finally survive. Also absolutely, it cannot be simply because the enemy is greedy. The beauty of her. The base soared to the top of the Kier wall. It's always in my head that the crux of the problem lies. Before this happened too. It's like a play that has been written. The characters appear. He will only be seen as a character, arranged in that script. She landed on the top of the wall thinking, the hero and the main character of this. It's like always catching mosquitoes, and there's always Kier inside. It also has a small effect. From above looking down, you can clearly see people going back and forth. You think, and now she's so close to the old school. So, the person behind the wire is likely the CA. Whatever this is about, the biggest beneficiary of this is him. The office frowned and thought again. I hope my guess is wrong. If not, there's power in every step of this. There will be too much fear. In the sky, the water is now in the body of the body. You're riding a chariot. Come on, shout. There is also a children's room on top. She turned her face to look at him and asked, You've been sick lately. I can't remember anything you want to eat. He's black-faced trying to hold back. I know it will be a billion times. It definitely won't be. She told me to probe. You'd better be serious. If there is no lady, you'll soon be dead somewhere. He was cursed early. He was so angry that he had a scar on his face. He grinds his aesthetic teeth. I can't believe we're falling now. To the point of becoming a disgraced little guy. Back to the past. That kind of person would dare to talk to me like that. Now, we don't just lose our souls. To the spirit of Kai Kwan that my father personally created for me. I can't see it either. Now I'm no different than a loser. Suddenly, his eyes widened and he thought. Not true, we still have a chance. We just need to get in touch with the creatures of the Yellow Mountain. You can prove your identity. Expose the imposter. Now, when he thought of this, he said to the mountain. The words that have just been uttered have been cursed by evil. You're calculating something. What else was your brain tricked into? That's where you can go, or whatever. You dream of becoming a prince. Dreaming in the middle of the day has a degree. You must always remember your own identity. I sat in a small laughter. Put your hand over your mouth and think. Thien Hong Sun. I don't know if this has been done lately. Strange behavior from talking. The mouth is always grunting. Thai ancient emperor Huang Shan. The emperor's name is also interesting. When I see the owner, I can tell you. Right now, a girl opens the door and screams. CACA heard you're going to leave. You are the queen of heaven. He glanced at her and asked coldly. Is there a problem? Ngok business immediately came to exasperate, said, according to my father's guess. The time we have to go at least. After the path of enlightenment appeared, you move forward to embrace the arms of the mortal and begin to flatter. But it's not cool. If the CA has decided, of course I will listen to you. People don't care. It's cold, an hour of reflection, even the queen. It is also ugly compared to her. He remembered about himself from the past, but he had a bad taste. When I was a kid, she was a distant 9-day rainbow with no time. Stand a distant view of the eyelashes. Slowly clasped his hand in fear. As soon as your eyes stare at the world, I know you have no feelings for me. For you, I am no different than the others. I'm just afraid of my former self. You show too much of this, I understand. At that time, just one look at my body is enough. Make him blush. My heart is pounding. I thought you were still dreaming about the school. He whispered. We're about to get to the main road. Standing in front of her, remove the entanglement in her heart. Have her in your arms. She wants to restore the tiger. I also helped her make it come true. Because I am now, he has become the most noble of the ancient Thai people. When I see the name of Ngok, I immediately call CACA. He thought about something else and laughed. My father's son is waiting for me. In the castle of the school. So many people have gathered here. The end of the school CA is still talking. Laugh and laugh with the guests. In a corner, I didn't he ask my sister to call me. What's the matter? The genie grabbed her arm and replied. Min, no billion. Now we've investigated the CA's background. In the family, I think I've found a few clues. His eyes did not open wide in wonder. What? My name has been clear since the school was born. The midwife gave birth that day. People who knew the story soon didn't know the location. There's obviously something secret in there. I am not sure if you mean school. He actually had a problem when he was born. Min did not softly frown to ponder. About the CA body bearing magic tool, except for my mother, only I know. As everyone around you knows, magic is later trained. It will continue to harm the world. So what are they hiding? If you don't see me, you say more. I always feel like being careful. At first, I took my heart. There's a conspiracy, but you can't help it. He seems to have something hard to say. They also have feelings for me. Let us change the analysis to another angle to think. This causes the hatred in us to be cold. We should be sure we want to deal with it. You didn't hear me say that, so there's some pity. The beauty of children. If I tell you that I died in a previous life, can you still think that? I am still confident in my own judgment. But still not as good as him. He's definitely 7. Suddenly, in front of the school, an announcement appeared. Ni first deduced the value of heaven increased. Air value increases. It makes you wonder if you can. Over here, you're still presenting the facts. At first, the teacher said that the old school CA, God is born with magic. But later, I said, all of this makes it look like ghosts aren't. Ma Ming was not surprised to ask again, God is born with magic. Her eyes drooped slightly in deep thought. A lot of things involve the ghost of birth. including the celestial ghosts. The same is true of celestial magic. He was influenced by something from which to practice magic. The school suddenly moved on. Hold your shoulders and shout. What are you talking about? Okay, we're busy, and we haven't had a break. You're lazy here. It startled the fairies, screaming at the school CA. Then she left in a hurry and shouted. We still have a goodbye. Only 2 people left. Ka put his chin on Min's shoulder, not cordially said. Min is not now the pride of the world to come. Are you going to help her out a little bit? She blushed shyly replied. How should we help? CA School stepped forward and said, now the young genius is concentrated here. The power is too weak. It's not appropriate to help VI. Suddenly you're back. Put up 2 thumbs and keep talking. Fear is very fast. The people of the ancestors will find the VI Fu until then. The school threatened her. The woman who just died will become a widow. Min did not hear that. He was astonished. She stammered fruit. She slowly opened her mouth and asked why she couldn't find it. Min does not fold hands. Look at the people in front of you and talk. It's not that there was a significant person who chose SAO. Punished CA face insensitive look Theo. The king noticed that the 2 men were looking at him. Immediately uttered billion. You 2 seem to be looking at that. He smiled and waved his hand at them. Something strange. You have such an amazing temperament like this. It is normal for the moon not to pay attention. It's just not paying attention to how he's going to communicate. He didn't even say hello to me. Let's see how fit she is. CA grinned softly. If it's not about her identity, it's really appropriate. I didn't he look at you and ask? But not behind her is the king of Israel. The school doesn't hide it. Prince Cam is the heir to the throne. I don't know anything about sewing. You are surprised to ask. The power of the human race. I see your surprise. Deep thought, CA punishment. Let's see if there are any memories of Yuming's past life. The people who came here were not Prince Cam. It's someone else than the one who was brought by the people in that life. I'm afraid it's not just one person. Min Kong frowned slightly at this moment. She thought angrily, damn it. The plot of this life is so far away from the previous life. Increasingly beyond our control. Then she held out her hand and counted, saying, if the prince does not succeed, then punish him. Think about taking action from those ancient monsters. Those geniuses with prestige will never die. The fire-fallen son of the Vermilion Bird clan, seal of the Golden Unicorn clan. Listen to her tell the story of that long guy at the CA school. Immediately interrupted and poked. Where did my bad boy go? Sirah is going the same way as Vifu Sao. She was poked in the black heart and blushed. Suddenly, he gently moved closer to Tai Min. No whisper. But I like you now more. Then he separated from her and told her. You don't need to worry about this. We know how to solve it. You don't, because of embarrassment, stood still in the place he was doing the cosmetic surgery. And when are you ever completely honest? Tell me the secret of your reincarnation. He thought excitedly. If so, the reward will be great. The system displays the start message again. Kai Tu's luck. Mortals fight over strong people. I finished reading and was a bit surprised, thinking mortals fight for the strong Sao. Here never had this kind of suggestion before. Is there anything special? Just thinking about it makes me smile softly. Right when we were young. We'll give you a bargain. While 2 people were standing and talking, then a subordinate came to report. Owner missing. Don Mai of the 9-tailed clan came and glared at CA and replied, quickly welcome Min without even glancing at him. CA school noticed an unfriendly look from her. Immediately lost natural speech. I'll go over there and meet the beautician for a moment. According to the system's habits, normal when having Kai to luck, or related people appear near us. There will be reminders, but watch Ra this time. 80 to 90% is related to Donmi. Then the police officer went in front of Donmi. But gladly welcome. Junior sister came from far away to attend the banquet. Really touched the brother. Donmi also politely replied, rarely do I see my senior brother care about me like that. Also made Donmi very touched. She bowed low to Donmi to greet her senior brother. CA school focuses on business, in the body of mortal. A man with a penis standing behind her. But aesthetics is he star. What a common man. Just don't know who has lost the body, Kier. What status? Seeing the police officer pondering, Donmi immediately asked her senior brother, Sao, so he calmly replied, it's nothing. Just didn't expect this case. Junior sister brought along a bastard with no cultivation. Looks like he's very different to me. Drunk with anxiety. Wonder why. The late police chief paid attention to a small character like me. Why is this name famous outside? It's not easy to be targeted by him. Not a good thing. Donmi also not very interested, but said clearly, you think too much. But he took the initiative to ask to go with the funeral team. Just to help, so I thought to let him open his eyes. Also got CA school to laugh softly. Ra is a very good promoter and DTO. Body business bone freeze he panic aesthetic. Why does it feel like I'm being seen? The index above his head is only 2. Donmi angrily turned around and shouted loudly. I'm afraid that the young master praised you, but you still don't thank him. Do you want to die? Outsiders also added fuel to the fire. This name is so lucky. Unexpectedly, the young master of the police school praised me. Another guy laughed and said it was just a bit silly. He immediately knelt down in fear and screamed loudly. Little servant thanks young master of police school for the praise. I hope the young master does not blame me. Ignorant. His eyes were wide open, his face covered in sweat, and he was very aesthetic. Indeed, the old school of police is more scary. I heard just look at it. Just think about blending in. See if you know someone. Can you prove your identity? As a result, he secretly complained. This insight. Definitely not a young genius. Is it possible to do it damn well? If Gok's name was here, it would be good. Surely she will recognize me. The CA school just now smiled and spoke. Stand up, keep kneeling. I'm afraid it will cause misunderstanding. I am a person who likes to oppress others. He thought. Knowing softness and hardness is stronger than deep lang, as suggested by the mortal system. Take the body of the strong. To put it bluntly, it is soul swapping, without anyone knowing. Then use the identity of the strong to keep on causing trouble. Turning the mist gradually stood up and thanked the young master. Aesthetic punishment. Very obvious. Soul of mortal was swapped to the original body of the name. He looked at Yunbai and asked his sister Han. It's been a hard ride. You must be tired. Just take a break. She happily replied, listen to your brother and you say that. When I was talking badly, the arm was not embraced by Min. She tried to squeeze her plump breasts into him. Then, you don't have a happy face, you look at me. The school also needs to welcome more guests. We can leave together. CA school stared at Donmi silently said. Note this name. If you find anything, let me know in time. I'm a little surprised. Then you turn around. The first point of knee leads Donmi. The angel came down to rest. You're angry and screaming. Not having time to scold was punished. CA stop complaining less. Or I'll make you pay. The king was also surprised to ask the little girl. What's wrong with this guy? Smiling, I don't know. But his name is pretty much the main character. I can't understand why I repeat the main character. They use sharp eyes. I can see the beauty of this 9-year-old. It seems a little interesting. With the old school CA, the sky has become dark. The moon rises and illuminates the city. A bunch of people with menacing eyes. It gives off red air like blood. CA school stood in front of them in order to play. Must play for round shoulder. From the palace of the reincarnation god. Get a great puppet sanctuary. Also on the field. But not the tiger. Training puppet Ra. It was also a physical creature. There's nothing to argue about. Look at the jewel. In front of their chests, they are constantly emitting strange gases. Aesthetic. Just use the magic trick to penetrate the core. Your eyes are bright, you smile softly. CA too wide to hands. The air flows straight in. People are controlled in front of you. Slowly pouring into their bodies. The whole room is awash in purple gas outside. For a moment, they were full of energy. This is not the successor to magic. That outsiders often say SAO. The successor to the great magic scene has appeared. Dealing with the prince's concubine is the transmission of the hidden electric progenitor. There's probably nothing more logical than this. CA school excitedly laughed softly. Put your hands on your chin and think. I believe you will endure it. It is time to save you. Saint Lady, everything is prepared. There is only the east wind. My eyes in the room are closing. 2 eyes to practice. Suddenly, her eyes widened and she screamed loudly. CA school leisurely go to say. See, you're not resting at all. But still practice hard. When I saw you go to the restaurant, I panicked and called the owner. The school is sitting in front of you. I was surprised to ask the owner. At midnight, it's because of SAO. When you hear this, repeat this guy. This is the name of the boy. Give me his calendar. My hands on my shoulders. Give me a massage and tell me in detail. He was picked up when he was on the road. When I saw he wasn't eating enough. Hungry on the road. Please have compassion on him. CA just heard and silently evaluated. He is also a savior. Watch out for this Kai. Of course, it has to do with my own. She also approached and asked Master Han. I am afraid that something is wrong. The school laughed softly. Come closer to you. Now he is afraid that he is no longer himself. Want to know the truth? Let's just call him and ask. A while later, of course. The blue mist in front of me announced. The owner has brought the department. He trembled with respect. And my heart is constantly worrying. I didn't hear wrong. Don't Mai just called the late school CA as the owner. She doesn't call it that during the day. The bones trembled and uttered no. I don't know if the owner. What's wrong with a million little ants? CA school laughed and exposed. Dare to ask your master how to address. Blue face suddenly pale with sweat. Beauty can't hide it. This guy is too scary. He mulled over. It's not just ability. Your identity and power are there. His words contain great power. Even if the ancient Thai people are now on the same level. Maybe he can help us too. Drowning and laughing for a few hours. He was bold and shouted. You really have eyes. But you also see it as not wrong. I'm not a geek. My eyes are glancing at him. Realize that you have changed people. The name of the Dew is revealed. My brother's name is not hidden. He is actually the son of the emperor. The ancient word is always sealed. So far, I've been practicing in the emperor's palace. Never left before. I don't know why this time. Suddenly, the soul is transferred to this body. Normally, I admire you very much. If you try to help me. Bones kneel down and pray. Later, I will follow you. Loyal to help you. I was immediately surprised to open my eyes. But the unsuspecting aesthetic is the Prince of Heaven. Compared to that demoralized look of yours, the CA school is calm. Bones bent over and looked down in his head. Fortunately, in the rush of time, if it's outside the world, then this CA school is not the villain. Even if the world doesn't help us, it probably won't. Even when he was busy thinking. And the voice boomed again as you say. Except for the memory, you have nothing. The dew line fluttered. CA's entire school is surrounded by strange air. You come closer and talk. The body is a prince. It only shows with one body. The terrified bone rope uttered this breath. He looked up and said, Try, brother. Drenched in fear, stand up and shout, Don T, let me go. I swear I didn't see anything. Everything I will listen to you. No matter what we do. You can be a horse too. I am still valuable to you. CA school hands around. Strange currents of power that exclaim. In fact, your memory has some value. Seconds later, the school raised everyone. Small bones in the palm of your hand. With a sinister grin. But we don't need the living. I see the soul of the little bone in my hand. CA is excited to say, the tiger is the descendant of the emperor. I can't believe it made him burn. There is so much tradition in this place. If it's not air, Kai swapped souls. I want to get this. It's not easy. The school is done. Let your hand touch the soul of God. Then he swung his hand, creating yellow lights. Fly towards the controlled crowd. CA school has a sinister smile. Give them orders. It's good to have the support of the emperor's breath. Then he looked down at his men and said, The air from the yellow mountain. How beautiful is Kier. Look at the people around them. The body radiates bright yellow air. I ordered a laugh. They all automatically put on weird smiles. CA school is pleased to continue to say, also not to miss the time. Take this enchantment. Come out a little heavy. They obey their orders, master. Then, they turned into purple rays that disappeared. CA school goes to the door. I put my hands behind me. I look at the dark sky in front of me. Prince Cam, don't make me 7. Inside a room with lights on. The blue LAN gas is spooked all around. A white foot landed. Blue air wrapped around her feet. He wears a single dress, showing off a pair of slim thighs. She's fascinated by her blue air. I am the fairy spirit, perfect celestial body without blemish. No matter what practice, progress is faster. Some ordinary things. But at SAO, this CA school, it gives us an illusion. We can't wait any longer. The death squinted his eyes. I am sure my VI is not enough. Look at this world. There will also be people who will make us easily swayed. Death suddenly clasped his hand. She laughed softly and exclaimed like this. It's not easy to have someone who makes us feel interesting. You have to pursue it anyway. Watch out, CA. You can't escape my 5 fingers of paint. Right now, in the air, there's purple air. It made the dead man's eyes wide open in wonder. Seconds later, behind her came a man. With a large body, his whole body radiated a familiar purple air. He was immediately beaten to the wall. You're still unharmed. Stand up straight and shout. The great sanctuary. Put your hands up and clean the dirt on your face. Look at the person in front of you and tell them who you are. I didn't expect to attack. Right under the eyes of the eternal home. The saint laughed and replied, follow the owner's example to get it. Your life. She quietly frowned, thinking about the owner of Sao. What is the status? That can make the great saint monk. Call him the owner. The second was far away. Seconds later, the Holy Spirit is close to your face. That swung too. He couldn't get his hands back, and he hit him in the face. Make everyone fly high. The great saint reached out. Catch your feet again. Then he excitedly held her leg and threw it hard. Does it feel like you've stopped working? Because in this palace, we have already laid out the battle. The death knell ate another powerful punch of the great sanctuary. The pain in your stomach makes you suffer. And then she was knocked to the back wall. Everything is ruined, Theo. Death rolled into the next room. People are full of injuries. The clothes on him were also torn. She lies out on the ground. My mouth is bleeding, thinking it's worth dying for. Of course, physical preparation is the norm. God, as I am not his enemy. Just to extend the time, it's time for Ra's men to sense the situation and come to the rescue. The Holy Grail is now gone. Close to death, his eyes lit up and screamed. In this world, who dare to hinder the owner? As soon as he stepped down, Death was quick to turn around. He continued, you have to die first. Take care of yourself. She took out the 5 pieces. The ring with its bright colors. The Holy Spirit is not afraid to come. The calculation is not wrong. Of course, you carry the law. You will not escape death today. Stand back and ask, who is your master after all? Do you know my identity? Can you bear the consequences of doing this to me? The great sanctuary did not hesitate to swing the punch. He grinned and replied ridiculously, you don't deserve to be obedient to death. To recognize the danger, Death's eyes widened into magic. This is the successor to the Sao magic. Of course, you're not the only one. Battles echoing through the room at night. The Bible has always kept the initiative. Just rely on a string of particles to defend. I can't save your life. He put his hands together and cursed his mother. This traitor is back. No more words to buy us time. Immediately after that, she performed the 5-color. Seconds later, the whole room is filled with sparkling colors. The great sanctuary gets more excited. Her bright eyes laughed softly. Interesting. Show me how long you can hold on. He repeatedly punched the screen in front of him. The ring began to appear cracks. The great saint excitedly said, why can't you stand it? The color of the face has decreased a few parts. My face is swollen and tired. Finally, why is the successor of this magic tool targeting me? Maybe we haven't revealed our identities yet. Suddenly, the dead realized something. Open up 2 eyes cosmetic breath drill of this guy. Right now, another punch of the great saint hit me hard. He hasn't punched yet. It made the screen appear full of cracks. Excited enough to play. Death was beaten back. Then she rubbed her feet on the floor. To keep the center of the body steady. He put his hands up and wiped the blood from his mouth. That aesthetic is obnoxious. I don't want to be stuck here. My new life is just. I just started to rely on it. Then she quickly took out a spell. Not yet implemented. The hand of death has been stomped on by the great saint. Restraining crab pain that screams.